The point of a role model were created in the first place so people can look up to them as an ideal. There's no point in making them fictional if we're going to reflect to them as an insert. Proposition side failed to mitigate the problem of stagnancy because all they want to do is look back, reflect, and insert human and real characteristics. Our side instead, we believe that if something weren't shown or teach in the first place, then the idea of it won't exist, hence why we think status quo is okay. Maybe proposition is just a little too woke, let our side clear some things. We never mention the encouragement of toxic productivity. We rather become more visionary when we think it is best to reach your maximum potential. We think proposition doesn't really go into much details, how the harm actually impact the larger audience, therefore also looking past it. If it influence more good things rather than the worst, we think the government side failed to mitigate if there's actually any specific harm that happens if we portray toxic productivity or positive traits in the status quo as shown in the mass media where people consume. We think it's actually rather better to have something to look up to that has no flaws, making it believes that we're not allowed to make, and it's not that we want to make the people believe that we're not allowed to make mistakes. It's just that it is better for yourself to already think that it is not a mistake in the first place. Like for example, if you're a lazy person, but the media shows mostly productive person, then you would feel that little FOMO or fear of missing out thing, and then you eventually overcome the laziness that comes within you naturally because you aspire to be better and as good as them. Meaning there will be less competition if you succumb into the standardization. We actually think that proposition doesn't think further what would happen if we actually insert more flaws into the media. Like for example, what if people only follow the flaws and start accepting the things that they can actually change in the first place? This comes to our first issue, which is about why status quo is actually okay and should be defended. We think we would defend status quo where where productivity is more pushed throughout the ideals of the media of superhero characters. For example, we think, like, take an example as Superman, where he is an overpowered, what we usually call Mary Sue, where it is an overpowered character term for a female. But in this case, Superman is a male overpowered guy, where it is more deemed okay in the society rather than a female one. But that's not what the debate is about, so we're gonna frame a little things about that. We think that it is actually not a problem. There's no people messing around with the Mary Sue context term in the first place, and there's no one actually taking Superman as a bad example. We think it's definitely perfect to have a nice perfect motivation role model rather than one that shows flaws, because then you're not suitable to appear in the media in the first place, right? So if we actually portray more representatives of something more visionary, then we can actually finally look further into the future. The government side doesn't have the future visionary in their case. Meanwhile, in our side, we provide a more planned mechanization. Like for example, we would promote more productivity, and we would just contribute and succumb into trends about positive living, healthy exercises, and more, etc. And we still portray those in the characters we have in the media and the people in the social media platform, whereas the proposition side exclusively doesn't want any of that to happen. They would only want people with flaws. Wouldn't that make the requirements for the people in the entertainment industry a little weird? Whereas they would need to have a flaws. What if they have a problem? What if they have a certain problem in their mental stability where they don't want to expose that where they don't want to expose that little flaws of them? What if they're actually someone with mental stability as OCD, perfectionism, and they want to appear as good as possible in the media and to the people as their branding, our side would have that good branding, so it would be easier for people to come to people and take what they actually want, as they are showing the people what they actually want to see. we fail to understand where is the interest of the people and the urgency that they actually want to see the flaws. They're only thinking about what assumptions of what people would actually like, and not about what people actually want. Because because we believe that we understand the entertainment industry even more. That takes us to our second issue, and why the entertainment industry standardization shouldn't change at all, like requiring flaws in the first place. We believe that the standardization is perfectly normal, and it is okay for people to have an idol. Like, take an example for the K-pop industry. They're perfectly looking and perfectly healthy role icons, right? They do have flaws, but that doesn't mean that we need to portray the flaws in the media all the time, and that we need to acknowledge the flaws and all. There will still, it's not that most of the society will change if we show them flaws. They also didn't mitigate what if the society provides a negative reaction to the portrayals of flaws and others and the etc. stuff they're talking about in their case. After all, what we're succumbing to is the media itself, and we want to impact the society even more. So in the case of that needs, we need to listen to what the people actually want. Oh, they want healthy looking and very well productive superheroes. They want overpowered characters, and so then we can show them that. Why would we show them their flaws? That wouldn't make things interesting. Oh, complex and depth. Why can overpowered characters be complex and depth too? We can just learn the nature of their powers and how they actually were able to balance the powers out within their very good already positive morals and traits, following the essence of morals itself. While they say that it is a question of morality itself, we believe that the morality itself stands as the parameter, so we should follow the morality, not that we should back up against it or do any other such to change what is actually there. We think that exclusively changing it would also make exclusively a riskier impact, hence why we don't want to make any risky changes that would impact the society even further. And then why our side's mechanization actually makes a lot more sense. Sure, they say that their case is the most realistic. We're also very realistic for just making the fantasies like the way they are. What the fantasy sentence in the first place by the principle is actually something that is impossible, out of this world, and by the thinking of humans. If you want to compare the realistic and unrealistic aspects, if we think about it, it comes from the human mind itself. Even if it's a fantasy, it's still a realistic thing because it was produced by the human itself. Meaning there's actually no sense in proving that it's unrealistic, because it is the imagination of the human itself. Hence why we want things to just stay the way it is. It is good. Hence why we're very proud to oppose.